श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातम् अहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं हरिः ओं तत्सत्। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are going to start chapter 26 of Canto 3, entitled Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. It's a very kind of very technical chapter, right? And then we'll see why it is technical, and then how we have to look at it and other things. So before we start the first shloka, just a quick look at what we saw in the glories of devotional service, which is chapter 25. The last shloka, translation by Prabhupada. Therefore, persons whose minds are fixed on the Lord engage in the intensive practice of devotional service. That is the only means for attainment of the final perfection of life. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada very nicely says, if one has to steady the restless mind, right? If one has to do that, then our mind has to be fixed in devotional service or fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord, right? When the mind is, the restless mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord, then the mind is steady and follows the senses. The senses are also controlled. So this was the kind of gist of the previous chapter. So now we'll start with today's thing. 1 second, just sharing. Yeah, Vasudha Mataji can read the shloka. Suma Mataji can read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Ata Te Sampravakshami Tattvanam Lakshanam Pratak Yad Viditva Vimuchyeta Purusha Prakritair Gunaihi. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Pranams Mataji. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. The personality of Godhead, Kapila continued, My dear mother, now I shall describe unto you the different categories of the absolute truth, knowing which any person can be released from the influence of the modes of material nature. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So if we read the purport, like Srila Prabhupada takes the reference of Bhaktyamam Abhijanati, 18.55 of Bhagavad Gita, that only through devotional service one can understand Krishna. I mean, understand a bit or just about try understand about Krishna, right? And he especially talks about the personal form of Krishna in the what we understand. Time and again, we are Prabhupada keeps hinting at these points, especially about understanding personal form of Krishna, because Krishna in the human form, in two-handed form, many of us now, and when Krishna himself was there also, thought he was an ordinary person. And then there are a huge chunk of people who think that Krishna has no form also. So in fact, one of the acharyas was saying, the Damodar Leela, where you see him wearing just that waistband and other things. So the acharya was saying, look, even I have a body. He's not wearing anything to tell us all that I also have a body. I mean, though it is a different kind of body, but I have a body. So Srila Prabhupada emphasizes on the personal form of the Lord. Now, also here, the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about why, this aspect of, about why we have to learn in detail or study in detail about the material nature, which is known as Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya philosophy is in a very systematic way trying to understand about the nature or Prakriti. Now, we may wonder, why are we trying to understand to know about Prakriti? If we are time and again saying we have to be above this material, we don't have to get into the clutches of this material nature, then do we need to spend time and energy to understand this, right? For that, if we take this example of, we must have seen these huge dome CCTVs. They're really huge, right? And then whoever passes by, everybody comes in the purview of that dome CCTV, right? So I'm giving this example to understand. Now Krishna has to bring all us conditioned souls in his purview, right? So in that aspect, there are so many people who are impersonalists, who are atheists, or some people who are very scientific, or they look for these kind of things. So for them, the Sankhya philosophy, in a very systematic way, he's trying to explain what was first created, then what was created, and then so it first appeals to them. Okay, they can relate to what they see, and then they can understand, okay, these, because they think the Lord or Prakriti is just energy. So through this systematic study, he is trying to bring them also to the fold of bhakti, right? Uh, uh, and also for us devotees who already believe in the personal form of the Lord, in the devotional service and all that, we also have to understand how creation took place, right? And then we can understand, when we know more, when we have more knowledge about what we have to encounter, then what happens, then it is easy for us to uh, kind of battle with it or deal with it, right? Because Prabhupada says it's an everyday Maya. I mean, every day is a war against Maya. Krishna consciousness is war against Maya. So if we are in we are in war with something, we have to know about it, isn't it? So for us devotees, we can take it in that perspective. Now, Sankhya philosophy, like Kapila Muni is going to tell about in detail to Mother Devahuti about Sankhya philosophy, right? So, very interestingly, if we see this shloka, Bhagavad Gita shloka 2.39, right? I'm just going to read a small portion of it, what Prabhupada talks about in the purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, kindly listen, here Sankhya means analytical description of the body and the soul. Lord Krishna made an analytical description of the soul just to bring Arjuna to the point of Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. See, Prabhupada is saying Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, Lord Krishna's Sankhya and Lord Kapila's Sankhya as described in Bhagavatam are one and the same. They are all Bhakti Yoga. Lord Krishna said, therefore, the only less intelligent class of men make a distinction between Sankhya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Right? So, no, why I'm saying this is, if we think we are going to deviate from understand, when we are analytically studying the nature or Prakriti, the Sankhya Yoga, if how is this related with Bhakti Yoga? Srila Prabhupada confirms here that studying the Sankhya Yoga or knowing about the nature in a methodical way is as good as Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga. And he also repeats, Krishna makes this in the chapter 5, shloka 4 and 5 translation I'm going to read. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, shloka 4. So Krishna himself is also saying, translation by Prabhupada, one who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be obtained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, sees things as they are. Pashyati, he sees it with Gnana Chakshu. This is shloka 5. Shloka 4, translation by Prabhupada. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from analytical study of material world, Sankhya yoga. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. That means somebody who is studying Sankhya yoga also achieves the ultimate goal of life, and one who is doing Bhakti yoga also achieves. See, when we understand Sankhya yoga, ultimately we will see in the shlokas that we will come to that same conclusion as what Bhakti yoga is also propagating, right? So this is the chapter is going to be a little analytical as it is said, and also quite a little technical. So we should not get discouraged. So I gave a little brief on how Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita and how Srila Prabhupada is also saying studying Sankhya Yoga is as good as Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, right? So we will go to next shloka. Anasuya Mataji is going to read the shloka, and Divya Gopu Mataji is going to read the translation. I would request Vasudha Mataji and Suma Mataji to lower their hands so that I can see others who have raised their hands. Thank you.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna Mataji Charan. Jnanam Nityashreyasarthaya Purushaya Purushasyatma Darshanam Yada Hurvarnaye Tatte Hridaya Granthi Vedanam. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Knowledge is the ultimate perfection of self-realization. I shall explain that knowledge unto you, by which the knots of attachment to the material world are cut. Hare Krishna.
Okay. True knowledge in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about how Sanatana Goswami is asking, who am I? Who am I? And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, Jivera Swarupa hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. And then here we are talking of Purushaya Atma Darshanam. Kapila Dev says to Mother Dehuti, by understanding or seeing oneself, individual self, one is freed from the material entanglement. Now, this sounds confusing. If I understand myself, my true self, or if I see my true self, then I am going to be freed from the entanglement of this material world. How? By Gnana Chakshu. Right? From the aspect of we being Nitya boss, right? From the, all of us, I'm talking of my perspective, being the boss. I am the owner of everything that I survey. Everybody should listen to me. So from there, coming to the platform of Nitya Das, right? That I'm part and parcel of the Lord. I'm not the master, I'm the servitor, right? So the whole crux of spirituality is this, to understand who I am true self. Now, if that is understood, then next, what is it that we have to understand? Purushaya Atma Darshanam. Parama Purushaya Atma Darshanam. Like, who is the Parama Purusha? So once we know that I am the servitor, I know what is the quality of the Atma, then I will think, okay, then whom I have to serve? Okay, let's talk about the servitor. Then there must be a master. Then that brings us to the Lord, who is the Parama Purusha. And then why he is Parama? So you see, Atatho Brahma Jignasa. Where it starts from? Who am I? So if I understand myself, I can actually get into the aspect of understanding the actual philosophy, or what is it that Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is trying to enlighten us, right? Now, how does this Atma Darshanam happen? Here, there is a very important word that is Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada is talking about Hrudaya Granthi Bhedanam, right? Hrudaya Granthi Bhedanam. Hrudaya, yeah, we all understand, right? The heart. Granthi Bhedanam. Granthi Bhedanam is to remove the knots, right? Now, when I was reading this, I was thinking, why is spiritual life at the outset initially sounds so difficult, or why is it that we go through pain? Now imagine if somebody is doing an open heart surgery without anesthesia, right? Then that is what is happening. That is what is Srila Prabhupada doing to all of us through Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. He is doing a heart surgery, right, to remove all the anarthas that is there in the heart. So Granthi Bhedanam, your Chedanam, like you're removing not the physical aspect of the heart, the dirty part of the heart, right? Even the choice of words, from Bhagavatam and then translation and all that is so, so graphical. Like you can literally, you read the Hrudaya Granthi Bhedanam, you can feel, you can feel the, what we have to expect, right? And then also, truth. There is always adjective with truth. What? Kathor Satya. Right? We are so entangled in this material world that initially it is so difficult to digest the truth. That first truth, you are not there. I am not this body. I am not somebody's mother. I am not somebody's father. I am not somebody's daughter. Right? You see, truth is also so difficult to digest. That is why the Hrudaya Granthi Bhedanam happens. Like that is the first stitch or first cut that happens. It starts from there. Sarva Upadi. Then imagine if we have to come to the platform of Sarva Upadi Vinirmuktam. All the Upadis, or any Upadi with, connecting to the body is false. Is temporary, it is false, because I'm not at all this body. That body is not going to be there, right? And then how does this happen? Then how exactly does this happen? Prabhupada says by listening to in the disciplic succession. First of all, the Atma Darshanam happens, and then the false ego is destroyed, right? And the disentanglement of the soul from 24 categories of material nature. 24, not one or two, right? 24 categories. That is what this whole chapter, further we will see what are these 24 categories of material nature, which the soul, which is entangled in this body, has to get disentangled from. So this, in the last, Srila Prabhupada says, pursuit of systematic philosophic process is called Sankhya, is called knowledge and self-revelation. So we are trying to understand nature in a very systematic way so that we can get out of this nature. We can disentangle us from this nature, right? So we go to the next shloka. Sudha Mataji will read the shloka, and Prashanti Mataji will read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Anadiratma Purusho Nirguna Prakrite Para प्रत्यग्धामा स्वयं ज्योति विश्वम येन समन्वितम. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, translation, I can't see.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, translation by Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Soul and He has no beginning. He is transcendental to the material modes of nature and beyond the existence of this material world. He is perceivable everywhere because He is self-effulgent, and by His self-effulgent luster, the entire creation is maintained. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Pranams.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Purusha. Here, Purusha or person. First thing that comes to our mind is there's a beginning and end. That person was born now, and then if he's still alive, he's alive. Otherwise, he's dead. He was. So there is a beginning and end. So here it is. Now we are talking about Parama Purusha. So what are the adjectives or what are the qualities of this Parama Purusha? When I was reading these purports, I mean, such huge purports. Srila Prabhupada's, purports are going to two pages, 2.5 pages. So much of in detail, to make a manda buddhi like me try to understand and try to speak about it. Srila Prabhupada has taken so much of pains to give, all the initial cantos of Bhagavatam. If you read the purports, Srila Prabhupada's purports are very elaborate. Because I heard His Grace Amarendra Prabhu saying, he was giving an explanation why anywhere Srila Prabhupada, when he just didn't write Hare Krishna mantra. Everywhere he wrote Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Because he said, we never know which canto, when or which book, which purport a person is reading. I mean, initially, I'm saying after we understand, then we go reading first canto, second canto. For some reason, some canto somebody is reading, say a guest walked in and then he opened the book and then while he's waiting for the host or something like that. And then when he reads it, Prabhupada's idea was that he should read the whole mantra. In the similar way, I was thinking, any purport of Prabhupada, if you read, actually, Srila Prabhupada is giving the whole tattva, the whole aspect of tattva in any purport. So, it should not be missed out because you never, and he further, His Grace Amarendra Prabhu said, we never know. He may again read Bhagavatam or he may again read Prabhupada books, he may not read. So, in that one reading, Srila Prabhupada, you see the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So, in that sense, if you read any purport, Prabhupada's purports, it almost covers everything. Soul, super soul, material world, servitor, master, then Hare Krishna mantra and Sankirtan. All these aspects. So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about how the Lord is self-effulgent. We know that shloka natad basayate suryo na shashanko na pavaka hayat katva. The material, the spiritual world doesn't need the sun, moon, or electricity. It is the light which is coming from the body, from the self-effulgent body of the Lord. Now, this self-effulgence is so powerful, not just the spiritual world, it is coming to all of us, even all the innumerable spiritual worlds, innumerable material worlds also it is giving light. Like in the Purusha Sukta, he says, I am my eyes are the sun and moon. So if we think the sun and moon is giving us light, Krishna says, they are my eyes. So through his body, he's giving effulgence, he's giving light to the whole creation, right? No, we are talking about the qualities or the gunas of the Parama Purusha. And then he's origin of all. And then, and who has no beginning. And then he is omniscient. And then there he says Brahman, which is great. Now, how great? We can understand great, very great. But what is really great about the Lord? So, such wonderful examples Srila Prabhupada gives. Prabhupada, gives giving an example in the purport. He is talking about our consciousness. Now our consciousness, we understand, is in every follicle of the body. Prabhupada is using every follicle of the body. And how do we know? Because any part of the body we pinch or if there is a pain, then immediately that means the consciousness is spread all over the body. So this is about the individual consciousness, right? And then about the supreme consciousness, that is how we have to understand that it is spread all over the universe, all over the living entities, everywhere. That is how great he is. And another example Prabhupada gives there is about a small light. There's a light burning in the room, so it is giving light in the room. But the sun is giving light everywhere. So, he's slowly giving, so many aspects of the Parama Purusha, who has no beginning, how great he is, and how he has no beginning and our end, right? And also Prabhupada says, like, how the individual body has a beginning and end, and how only when the soul enters the body is alive and working. The same way, this universe is also a body, and when the Lord enters, that is when this universe also starts functioning. So, anybody wants to answer how, as a soul, super soul, the Lord enters into the universe?
By his glance, Mataji.
Yeah. No, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu is as Paramatma in each of us.
Garbhodakashayi.
Yeah, exactly. As Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, when he enters into the universe, that's when then Brahma and other things, that's how we can relate. That the universe started functioning after the super soul. So, and then material world, how is he working? Prabhupada talks about his various energy. And the most important thing in these purports Prabhupada is talking about is Prakriti Para. The Lord has created this material world, but he is above all this material world. He is above the three modes. He is beyond the material contamination. Right? This is the most important aspect of for us to understand. Because why this is being, I can use the word hammered into us again and again is that we should not relate or we should not think the Lord and me are same. Only if we understand that, we will stop our attitude, wrong attitude of this controlling nature, because he is the supreme controller. He is the controller. He is the only controller. Unless this is ingrained in us, that the Lord is the supreme controller, right? This aspect of false ego, trying to get above the false ego is going to be difficult, right? So he is the Paramapurusha. So these are a few things. There are plenty of things which Srila Prabhupada has shared in the purport. It would be really nice to read and try to connect with what we tried to discuss today. If we can read it today, then we can, it kind of retains in us. So I'm saying, please read the purports. Try to read the purports today, right? And then Prabhupada is quoting about Brahma Samhita, Goloka eva nivasati akilatma bhuto. He is living in Goloka, but still he is present everywhere, right? So unlike us, we are present in one place, right? We are present in one place. So we go to Shloka 4. Padma Mataji will read the Shloka. And I like the way this Mataji has named herself, says, wonderful Krishna. Sindhu Mataji will read the translation. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Padma
Mataji.
Mataji.
Yeah,
Padma
Hare
Mataji
Krishna
will read.
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji. Saesha prakatim sukshmam daivim gunamayi vibhu yascha yo yaivo pagatam abhyapadyata leelaya. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Pranams, Mataji.
Shloka 4, translation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that. Yes, go ahead, Mataji. Sorry.
Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. As his pastime, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the greatest of the great, accepted the subtle material energy which is invested with the three material modes of nature and which is related with Vishnu.
Okay.
Purport, shall I continue?
No, Mataji. We're not reading the purports. If we read the purports, then we will only read the purports. I will lose my save of trying to share a few things. Anyway. Gunamayim, the word here, Gunamayim, Prabhupada says, is the significant here, right? Daivi means the energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gunamayim means invested with the three modes of material nature. And two aspects Srila Prabhupada talks about this energy which is coming from the Lord. One is this energy is coming from the Lord. Then the other thing is it is covering us conditioned souls. What I could make out what Srila Prabhupada is talking about here is why it is so difficult for us to understand this aspect that the Lord is above, is para prakriti, is parama purusha. So the example Prabhupada gives is when the cloud covers the sun, right? What do we say? I just said that this cloud is covering the sun. But in actuality, can the cloud cover the sun?
No.
In reality, no. It is our shortcoming that we are thinking the cloud is covering the sun, whereas there is a shortcoming in our vision, right? We are seeing the cloud as covering the sun, but the cloud can never cover the sun because the sun is so huge and the cloud is a small part of. Again, another aspect Prabhupada says the cloud is the energy of the sun itself, right? So with this example, Prabhupada is saying Maya, which is a small energy of the Lord, but because that Maya, even though it's small, it is powerful, and because we are conditioned, we fail to understand these aspects of the Lord. That Maya, which is covering us all conditioned souls, right? We think, what do we think? That the Lord is also covered with this, or he is under these modes of three nature. Like how with our limited vision, we think the cloud is covering the sun. With that same limited conditioned knowledge, we think that the Lord is also can be affected by Maya, or he is also under, when he comes here into this material world, he is also affected by Maya. Maya can never cover Krishna, and it always covers us. That's why Prabhupada always said, when you pray, what do we have to pray? One devotee asked Prabhupada, what are you praying to Krishna? So Prabhupada says, keep me away from Maya. So Prabhupada, and then he further tells the devotee, I'm never under the influence of Maya, because in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, not just the Lord's pure devotees are also Paraprakriti. They are also not under the influence of Maya. Right. And then another interesting aspect Prabhupada says in the first canto, 7th chapter, Vyasdeva is saying, Vyasdeva sees has the spiritual vision to see the material energy standing behind the Lord, indicating that Maya cannot cover the Lord. Vyasdev could see the material energy standing behind the Lord. And another example, beautiful example Prabhupada gives is Maya can cover, darkness can cover a small cave, right? So as conditioned soul, the Maya can cover. She has her influence. But Vibhu, or the Lord, Prabhupada says, Darkness can never cover the sky. So he's taking the word Vibhu. Who is Vibhu? The Lord. So the Lord, the Supreme Lord, can never be influenced by material nature. But then the next question, why did he create it? Why did the Lord create material nature? Anybody wants to say?
Because
For
we
the
wanted
living
to
entities to
enjoy
enjoy,
independently of
Yeah,
creation. We were
because of
stubborn.
our desires.
because of our
By
desire.
his own will, Mataji.
Yeah,
And
because
also
because we wanted to be away from the Lord. So he says it is not possible in my abode. So I will give you one one place where you think you can control, you think you can enjoy. So in that place you can. So he creates this material energy.
Mataji, one more point Prabhupada tells in purpose is it is a material, there is a chance for us to go back to home, back to God.
Yeah, a chance for us to go back home, back to Godhead. Correct. Right? So, and also says, material, he accepts the material energy for material creation, maintenance, and dissolution. And less intelligent things, the cloud covers the sun. And like how we think the cloud covers the sun, Maya also covers Krishna when he comes down. So time and again, the shlokas say that the Lord is above all this. And Srila Prabhupada also time and again makes this point, because we may at one point accept when we are reading or listening to class, but then after some time we again forget that I am not the controller, I am the servitor, I am the servant. So we have to be reminded time and again. Every moment we have to be reminded time and again. And then, so why is it another aspect of trying to understand this nature? Then why is it so difficult for us to understand, accept things like that? And how is it that we are going to see the Lord? Then if we see this very nice shloka of Ishopanishad, mantra 15, the shloka says, right? No, how we can get above all this, how we can understand that the Lord is Paraprakriti, then we are conditioned and all that. Here what it says is, Hiranmaya Patrena Satya Sthapitham Mukham Tattvam Pushnam Apavarno Satya Dharmaya Drushtaye. Translation by Prabhupada. Please listen. How we can understand all these aspects, right? Oh my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotee. Remove that. So the Lord, in fact, another place I'm forgetting whether it is Srila Prabhupada purport or one of the acharyas was saying, when can you understand all these topics? Is that when Krishna wants you to understand? When Krishna wants us to understand, then we'll understand. Otherwise, we are, in that dvandva. Did I understand? Did I not understand? They are also dvandva only. Right? So if Krishna wants me to understand, then I have to please Krishna. So if I have to please Krishna, what should I do?
Please, Guru.
Please Guru. And then, so if I have to please Guru, what I should do?
Follow his
Follow
Follow instructions.
Yeah. So if we have to understand even Prakriti, if we have to understand, then we need to, actual aspect of Prakriti also, if we have to understand, we need the Lord's mercy. And very beautifully that person is saying, so many people are researching about nature, and they're spending tons and tons and tons of money, time and energy. All they have to do is buy 6,500 rupees Shrimad Bhagavatam, read this, then they will save time, energy and money and go back home, back to Godhead. like, right? That was a very catchy point that Prabhu was making in the lecture I heard. Yeah. Chandana Mataji will read the shloka and Karpagavalli Mataji will read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
गुणैर्विचित्रास् सृजतीं सरूपा प्रकृतिं प्रजा विलोक्य मुमे साध्यः स इह ज्ञानगुभया. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Translation. Karpagavalli Mataji. Yeah, okay. Shobha Mataji, go ahead. Translation. Hare Krishna. Is Pandra Hariman. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. Divided into varieties of her threefold modes, material nature creates the form of the living entity, and the living entities seeing this are illusioned by the knowledge covering features of the illusionary energy. Should I continue the purport, Mataji? No, Mataji, thank you. Hari Bol, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So, material energy, it says, is applicable only to praja or those born with material bodies. And what does 7.12, here Bhagavad Gita 7.12, Prabhupada is saying in the translation, if you see, know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. You see, it's so difficult. I have created, I am in them, but not in them. I have, everything, on the contrary, he's saying. So he's saying, I am not under the modes of nature, but I am there in the nature. Right? So, how to, really understand all these aspects, right? Constant reading under our sadhana will kind of reveal to us, the Lord will reveal that how exactly to understand. Like, for example, nirguna. This word nirguna is very grossly understood. Nirguna means somebody who has no guna. But that is not what Prabhupada, we have to understand about the Lord, that he is not without any guna, or he is not without any this thing. He is above these material gunas. That is what Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is trying to teach us. So, why did he create? For us, that we discussed, that we wanted to be a bhogi or an enjoyer. Bhoktaram Ignatapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. So if we have to be a Bhoktara, then we also have to be Sarva Loka Maheshwara. And then what is the other aspect? Suhrudam Sarva Bhutanam. I have to be friendly to everybody also, right? So that is why this material nature is applicable only to it is in the sorry. One second. Yeah, in this purport, where it is saying it is applicable only to praja, right? And praja, we are all the praja, where we have this material body, which is born and which dies. And how to another example, classic example. This example Srila Prabhupada keeps on giving. How to understand that the Lord has created, but is above that. Right? That the jailer example. In the jail, both the criminals is also there and the jailer is also there. Right? But what is the difference? The jailer is not subjected to the rules of the prison, whereas the criminals are. So, Durga, we are here, we are jailed. Our Atma is jailed in this body. Then we are stuck in this material world. So we are prisoners here. Whereas the Lord who has created it is above this creation. So he is not stuck here. he is not influenced by all this material nature, right? And also Nitya Baddha. Here Prabhupada talks about Nitya Baddha. What that means? See, like how we have heard Nitya Siddha, who are pure devotees are Nitya Siddhas, who are eternally, they are, whether they are in the material world or in the spiritual world, they are always serving. That means Nitya Baddha means eternally conditioned, Srila Prabhupada says. That means we have no hope for us? No, eternally conditioned, because we go through so many species, 84 lakh species. After going through all that, so it looks like eternity. So many we have taken birth and death, life after life. Like time immemorial, we have been taking birth. So it looks like as though we are conditioned forever till we come to the point that we meet a devotee, and then our bhakti starts, our devotional service starts. So many lives as human beings itself we have taken birth. There are 4 lakh type of human beings. That means even as human beings also we have taken birth. Then we have come to this platform of bhakti, right? After so many. And then in the shloka itself, it talks about Gnana Guhya, right? Gnana Guhya, by the knowledge covering feature. So there again, our aspect of not understanding that actual knowledge are illusioned by the knowledge covering feature of illusory energy. So, so then we understand. Then how are we able to, even understand that? First aspect to understand is that I am conditioned, I am in Maya, I am illusion, right? That is the first step. Like here again, another word Prabhupada talks about is mumohe, was illusion, not was. I mean, we will say is illusion, right? Day in and day out, we are illusion, and that I am the doer. And then Krishna says, no, you are not the doer. The 3 gunas, the 3 modes of the nature are the actual doer. Bhagavad Gita, right? And then about guna, Prabhupada talks the 3 colors, tricolored. White is represents sattva guna, red represents passion, and blue represents ignorance. So, on the whole, these 5 shlokas, if we have to just say, as per our desire, we are here in the material world to be covered by the material nature, to be covered by ignorance. In fact, if you read, Brahma first created ignorance only. He first creates ignorance. So you see how powerful it is. It is powerful because it is energy of the Lord. It is powerful. And the Lord, who is creator of this material energy, is never influenced by the way we are influenced. And then with Atma Darshanam, knowing oneself brings us to the aspect of trying to understand, trying to know the Lord. Atma Darshanam, we can have Paramatma. So, you see how everywhere Srila Prabhupada's mercy flows. Signs of self-realization, Prabhupada talks about. Discover yourself, right? So if we discover ourselves, the signs of self-realization happens, then we get one more step to trying to at least being aware that Atma, then Paramatma, and then how the material nature, and then so many things, so many aspects of this, right? So actually, it's a very what to say? See, it's so easy to talk about leelas, about stories. Though coming from an engineering background, I found it so difficult to put words together to kind of trying to explain this material aspect, right? Because it is guha, means covering. So I really felt so limited. I mean, not and so small. Trying to understand, trying to explain, trying to give a overview of this. So I really thank Ashish Prabhu and ICF forum for giving me an opportunity to actually truly purify myself, and all of you patiently listening to whatever I had to say, because it is very systematic study, and then it may sound that you're repeating it time and again. Yes, I'm repeating it for myself, and very patiently all of you have listened to it. So as a seva to my Guru Maharaj, I've tried to share a few things, and hoping that it made some knowledge, some sense to all of you also. If yes, thanks to my Guru Maharaj, and if no, please pray for me. That next time I try to make some words or try to say something, that I make some sense to all of you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. We always look forward for your classes, so don't say that, Mataji. You are a very good preacher. Hari bol. Matajis and Prabhujis, if there is any question, Suma Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Pranams, Mataji. Mataji, how long will the Maya trouble us, Mataji? The conditioned souls, till they reach the stage of pure, as to the pure devotees when they become, it will not trouble. No, Mataji, this is what I learned in this class, Mataji, today.
Yeah, that's an impetus for us to try to up our, if we are not into sadhana, do our sadhana, start our sadhana better. If we are already into all that, improve the quality of our sadhana. Right? And then till how long Maya can test us? Good question. Bharat Maharaj, he left everything. King, he left everything. Then he was bewildered by a deer. He said, yo, this deer will die. Forgetting there are so many such small babies in the whole forest, right? So, Maya is, like Prabhupada, when devotee told Prabhupada, sometimes I'm in Maya. Otherwise, I'm always doing bhakti. Prabhupada chastised him, said, you're always in Maya. Sometimes you think you are in bhakti. That is why, we should, very important as we are progressing in our bhakti path, that we should never think, okay, now I have reached this. That is when super Maya, it says, she, like how, you see small crevices, small gaps in these huge boulders and where, plants grow. Maya is like that. If you think you have everything, then in a very subtle way she comes. In a very, you cannot even imagine how she comes, right? So we have to, it's never like we are reach there, Maya will not touch us, trouble us. No, it's never like that. So devotees association. Bharat Maharaj's example gives us comes to the point that we always need devotees association. If you see Prabhupada's disciple, Srila Prabhupada himself always surrounded himself with devotees, because they are the one who pull us up, pull us out of Maya, because we can get into Maya anytime.
Mataji, my question was not complete, Mataji. I'm sorry, Mataji. Actually, I just wanted to ask, like the pure devotees whom we have seen, like Kanakadasa and Purandaradasa and so many, Vilvamangal Thakur and so many others, they also suffered, no, Mataji, like went through Maya's test. So I just wanted to know, Mataji, even the Bharat Maharaj also was attacked by Maya. Like in the Nectar of Instruction, it is said that, Mataji, we learned in the class, like those who are in the stage of Bhava, they can see clearly what Bhava is, what the Maya is differently and from the Lord. So they can distinguish very properly. So how could, again, this after distinguishing also, how could Bharata Maharaj fell, Mataji, in Bhakti for attachment?
See, like how in the purport Prabhupada says, pure devotees are also above, like how God is untouched by Maya, pure devotee is also untouched by Maya. But see, when Sita, you hear about Rama's pastimes, Sri Ramachandra is crying. right? Now, is he faking or is he like us crying because his wife went away? No, he's showing some emotion. No, I'm giving this example to make us understand. Sometimes, not sometimes, he uses these pure devotees to give us an lesson, right? Otherwise, with any other, I mean, ordinary soul, if he does this, one is that ordinary soul will not be able to take such a test, one thing. And then through these pure devotees, he is trying to convey to us that anybody can fall down. So we should not equate such pure devotees, high elevated devotees, with what we go through. They are used as an instrument, right? For high purposes. Brahma Vimohana Leela, Shiva running behind Mohini. They are all exalted devotees, but they are okay to imagine if an ordinary person is is used to do this aspect of running behind Mohini Murti. First of all, it cannot happen because for eternity, people will talk what Shiva is running behind a woman. You know that to take even that chastisement for eternity, you need to have a very different level of consciousness. It doesn't affect Shiva because Shiva knows he is doing it just because Krishna wants him to do it. And irrespective what people say, don't say. Like just yesterday, I happened to be in a gathering and somebody so well known just said hi, hello, and then did not speak so much as they used to. It did affect me. After all this reading, after all giving classes. So he uses these pure devotees because it doesn't affect them. But at the same time, he has to give this powerful message to us conditioned souls that even such people can fall down, be aware. That is how we have to look at it, is what Prabhupada and Acharya say. Did I answer your question, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, I always forget, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. He's just using them as instruments. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Mataji.
Sindhu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji. As usual, very nice class. Initially, I think I missed out. Volume was little low for me.
Oh.
But there's no question actually. I just wanted to share like Prakriti, Parama Purusha. The analogy was very nice, Mataji. The cloud and the sun, no? How the very small cloud is covering in Maya is also doing the same thing to us. And how to rise above all that, very beautifully you wrote Isha Upanishad. Mataji, I just wanted to share, yesterday in the Tamil class we were seeing, when you were describing about this dazzling effulgence, no? Of this verse and all you were explaining, I was just meditating upon that. I just thought I will share with you. Can I share it, Mataji?
Okay.
Actually, it is from Canto 8, we saw. 8.4.17 to 24. It's beautifully explaining. Like it says that every morning and night we need to read this, all of us. Devotees, I'm sure you should be knowing this, Mataji. I'll just say that. Like the translation is like, goes like, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, freed from all sinful reactions are those who rise from bed at the end of the night, early in the morning, fully concentrate their minds with great attention upon my form, your form, this lake, the mountain, the caves. It goes on, Mataji. It's actually very big translation. Some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 verses. 17 to 24.
8, Canto 8?
8.4.17 to 24.
Okay. I will read the translation.
Yeah, very nice, Mataji. Whole description, the slokas is also very nice.
Yeah.
You know, it talks about Shivatsam, Kaushubam, Malam, Gadam, Kaumodikam, Mama, Sudarshanam, Panchajanyam, all the dazzling things, no?
Dazzling things, okay.
So I was just thinking about that. I thought I would share with you.
Thank
I will
you.
just mention the reference, yeah, Mataji.
Sindhu Mataji, please type it in the chat
Yeah,
box.
yeah. Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
please.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So it was a wonderful class. We got so absorbed in that, Mataji. Every time you come to the class, we keep our ears and eyes open. It's really, it's so wonderful, Mataji, your explanations. Mataji, my question may sound very silly, but I just want to know out of curiosity. We are running away from Maya, Mataji. Why is it named Mayapur? Many people ask me this, but I answer.
I wish I could answer. Mayapur. Mayapur. Okay. I don't know. I really don't know. I
Maybe
think
it's teaching us to go away from all Maya, Mataji. Just
His
for
Grace
this.
Radhesham Prabhu is expected this week into ICC. I think I'll put this question to him and then
Yes,
next
Mataji,
class.
please.
Yeah.
Because many people ask me, I myself don't know. I also asked some, some ladies, who are preaching, they also didn't know.
Yeah.
So that's why I need a little help in that.
Yeah, one thing I can share is there's this one great Acharya in the Madhva Sampradaya, he's no more, Dhananjaya Acharya. He said, this thing you can share. When you think you know about everything about a person, and then there is a question mark, that is God. That is the Lord. Lord and his Dham are not different. So when you think you know everything, and then you can tell them this. So that question mark remains. Okay. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can you please repeat it again, Mataji? I am not.
When we think we know everything about a person, and then after that there is a question mark. That means there is some doubt or there is something you think you didn't understand. That means that is the Lord. When you cannot understand everything about the Lord is what I'm trying to say here. Right? If in Kannada it was, it's more nice, ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಚಿಹ್ನೆ ಇದೆ ಅದು ಭಗವಂತ ಅಂತ. Anyway, okay. Yes, Meenakshi Mataji, Hare Krishna. You have anything
Hare
to
Krishna,
ask?
Mataji. Mataji, my doubt also may be silly, Mataji, but I failed to understand this. In throughout the last chapters, we saw that Bhakti Yoga and Sankhya Yoga are very, very similar, Mataji. So I'm unable to understand what is the difference that makes it explanatory here in these two chapters, Mataji.
See, it is that's what I gave you that example of Dome. And Krishna has to include everybody. Some people are very systematic approach. Some people have the faith. Immediately they will, believe anything. But some people will say, keep on asking, why? It's like that, who is my father? Who's his father? Who's his father? Father is there. So it is catering to those kind of people. Very scientific approach, very methodical approach. Right? So it has to be all inclusive, for everybody. So it is for that.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna, pranams.
Yes. Divya Gopu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, I've been attending most of your classes, but earlier used to be, I have seen a transformation with respect to the direct approach you used to have, right, Mataji? You used to be really straightforward, very extremely straightforward. A little, you also mentioned that you were a little angry earlier, but now I could see very calm, composed, and I really wanted to learn that from you, Mataji. Why? Because this is a practice by which vice can be reduced. It is not really easy. So I just wanted to know your inputs, Mataji, on this.
Grantra Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada. Actually, some time back, a week ago or something, one of the devotees, mentioned to my Prabhu. And then in the process, he was saying, Mataji was so calm and composed. He said, he jumped. He literally said, you and calm and composed. He said, he jumped. So if you are perceiving this, if you are really perceiving this, please read Shrimad Bhagavatam. I am trying to do my Bhakti Vaibhava exams, and then on that process, I am reading Shrimad Bhagavatam extensively. More than the exam, it is instruction of my Guru Maharaj to do these exams so that we read Srila Prabhupada's books. So if you are seeing all this, you are seeing Shrimad Bhagavatam and not me. So if you want to do it, just always keep Shrimad Bhagavatam. That will keep you calm and composed. Hare Krishna. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that feedback. Feels nice. It feels encouraged. That if you can physically see, even though online, That means you see how powerful. Many a times I have experienced, even if you are not able to read, even if you are not able to understand, you can feel the power of Prabhupada's books. Just hold Prabhupada. I have done it plenty of times when I've been hopelessly disturbed, angry. I just hold Prabhupada's books also. That also will transform me. Right? Hare Krishna.
Right.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Sorry for the interruption. I just want to say what on what Divya Gopu Mataji just said, Mataji. Like we are trying, Mataji, each and every day we are coming for the session, and we are for 1.5 hours we are trying to be good, Mataji. Actually, we really do not have the same kind of phases what we show in our videos, Mataji. We really are. I mean. Dealing with some other people. So obviously we are having another phase also. So we are trying to be good and trying to be good, Mataji. So transformation is happening, but not we are. So I'm really thankful to Granthrat, Shrimad Bhagavatam Mataji. So I just wanted to say that, Mataji. Each and every day we are going through a change, Mataji, and I'm very thankful for this session.
That is why Hudaya Granthi Bhedanam, open heart surgery.
Very true,
allow
what
it,
Mataji
allow
said.
it, allow it to do. When I read that, I said, surgery. That is why it's so painful. Open heart surgery without anesthesia. I said, wow. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. I have never seen you, Mataji, in any angry mood. I have always seen you calm and composed. So this is my personal review on this, Mataji, that you are a very good person, very good devotee. So Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. So if there is no other question, we can end the class here. By your permission, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Vancha
Yeah.
Kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo
Purnanandani Mataji ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vrinda ki jai.
Hare Bol. We'll meet next week. Hare Bol.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Calendar session, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Bol.